Welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really beautiful and, well, a very wise four-character phrase from Chinese culture. It tells a story about human nature, about our choices, and about the invisible currents that kind of guide our lives.
So here it is on the screen. Before we even translate it, I want you to just take a moment and look at the characters themselves. Think of them not as words you have to memorize, but more like four small paintings, and each one holds a piece of a bigger picture.
Okay, so this first character is pronounced shun. It carries this feeling of harmony, of moving with something rather than fighting against it. It means to follow, to go along with, to be in accord.
Next, we have shuǐ. Now this one is pretty simple. It's water, but in this context, it really evokes the image of a river or a stream, some kind of natural force that has its own direction, its own momentum, the current.
The third character is tui, and this means to push. But, and this is really key, it's not a violent shove. It's more of a gentle push, a nudge, a guiding hand that adds just a little bit of momentum to something that's already in motion.
And finally, we see zhōu, which is a boat, a small vessel just resting on the water. It's a perfect, simple image to complete our picture, isn't it?
So when we put these four pictures together, Shun Shui Tui Zhou, we get this really clear literal image. To push a boat in the same direction that the water is already flowing. Makes sense, right? Figuratively, it means something we can all relate to, going with the flow, using the momentum of a situation to your advantage, basically taking the path of least resistance.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. The most famous story about this phrase comes from one of China's great classical novels, Dream of the Red Chamber. And the story isn't about boats at all, it's about a very difficult moral choice.
So the story kicks off with an ambitious official, a guy named Zhao Yuan. He's just been appointed to a new post, and right away he's handed a very serious murder case to solve. His duty is clear: find the truth and administer justice.
But there's a complication. The main suspect in the murder is a relative of the very same powerful family that sponsored Zhao Yuan, the ones who helped him get his prestigious job. So he's caught between his duty to the law and his debt to his powerful patrons. What a spot to be.
As the official is struggling with what to do, his subordinate comes to him with some advice. He suggests that rather than fighting the powerful forces at play, the official should just use them. He advises him to do a favor for the family and quietly close the case. He tells him to Shun Shui Tui Zhou, to push the boat with the current.
And this just illustrates the metaphor so brilliantly. The immense influence of that powerful family, well, that's the current. It's a force that's already moving in a certain direction. And ignoring the crime, letting the suspect go free, that's the act of pushing the boat. It's a small, easy effort that simply helps things along their seemingly inevitable path.
This story leaves us with a question that feels incredibly modern. Is it wise to recognize the forces around you and use them to your advantage, or is taking the easy path sometimes a deep moral compromise? This is the very dilemma that's captured in this phrase.
So, the crucial point here is that this idiom has layers. On one hand, it can mean being savvy and strategic, seeing where things are headed and using that momentum. But just like in the story of the official, it can also carry a slightly negative meaning, suggesting opportunism or taking the easy way out, even if it's not the right way.
But it's not always so heavy. You might hear it in a much lighter, everyday context. For example, someone might say something like this. My two friends were perfect for each other, so I just did a little Shun Shui Tui Zhou and made sure they were at the same party. You see? Here the current is their natural chemistry, and the push is just that little nudge to help things along. So in the end, you can see how four simple characters painting a picture of a boat on a river can contain such a complex human dilemma. It's that choice between fighting the current and simply giving the boat a little push. It's a situation people have been navigating for centuries.
Learn Chinese one story at a time.